All right, what's up? So let's get into it. We are talking about language barriers today. So I know a lot of you live in the Philippines, or a lot of you are using cold callers that live in the Philippines, and with that comes a little bit of a cultural and language barrier. People in the Philippines are a lot nicer than people in America, right? So what I've experienced is there's a lot of formalities that don't need to be there when speaking to Americans, right? So there's a lot of sirs, ma'ams, and that sort of thing, which is great. And yes, of course we want to be polite, but that's just not how Americans typically speak. What we're used to is, hey, what's up? Who are you? What are you talking about? Like, get to the point. Like, I don't have any time to waste. Just get to the point, right? That's our typical American seller we're talking to, is just get to the point. I don't want to waste my time. Who are you? Where are you from? Let's cut out the BS and get to the point, right? So overcoming the language barrier, how do you do that? My number one recommendation is have a strong script, right? If there's a huge language barrier, stick to the script as much as possible. Follow that thing to the T. So line number one, stick to the script. But what else is more than that, right? So sticking to the script is line number one, because I think that's step number one, is you got to learn the conversation and learn what's going on. But through that, there's going to be a lot of curveballs that get thrown at you that you're not going to know how to handle or how to avoid or navigate. And so the next thing would be to handle objections. So what does that mean? What the heck is an objection, Luke? Well, simply put, an objection is just any kind of concern or question that a homeowner brings up to you, right? So if they ask you, who are you? What's your name? How'd you get my phone number? What's your offer? Or anything along those lines, or really just any question in general, that is an objection, right? And so how do we handle these objections? How do we navigate these questions where, you feel really obligated to answer them? Because ultimately we want to make sure that people on the other end feel comfortable. So when you get a question like, who are you? You're really obligated to say, oh, my name's Luke, right? And that's great. We want to make sure people are comfortable, but how we handle those objections in a way that gives you back control of the conversation and doesn't leave you in a spot open, ready to take shots like, who are you? Oh, my name's Luke. Okay, where are you from? Right? And they keep drilling you and drilling you, drilling you, drilling you with questions. That's no fun and nobody likes that. So how we handle that is by asking a question once we have answered or addressed their question. Let's use, for example, where are you from? Oh, well, we buy in Kentucky. You address their question, where are you from? They probably just want to know where you buy property at. So we buy in Kentucky, and you have to pivot and ask them a question back, or that leaves you open to receive more questions and more bullying from the homeowner, right? So what the pivot looks like from a cold caller's point of view is simply just reiterating and re-asking, like, do you want to sell your property? That's all it is. That's a great pivot for 90% of the conversation is, well, what's your offer? Well, we give out a lot of offers, but I mean, do you even want to sell your property, right? Or who are you? Well, my name's Luke. Well, do you even want to sell your property? And this can be applied to a lot of different situations. This can even be applied to higher level conversations and higher level negotiation, right? Like, come on, Luke, where do you guys stand on price? We've been talking for a little while. Well, I'm sure you know a little bit more about the neighborhood than I do. You mind sharing with me your expertise or where you think the property value is? Right? So I addressed the conversation, I addressed the question, and then I pivoted to cut them off so that they couldn't ask me any more questions. So that's huge. Let's recap this, try to summarize it in a way that's a little bit more digestible. Handling objections. What is an objection? First and foremost, an objection is any question from a homeowner or any question from anybody. How do you overcome or handle that objection? You have to address it. You don't necessarily have to answer it. Where are you from? Oh, we buy in Kentucky. And then you pivot. Are you even interested in selling your property anymore? Right? And that pivot question can change depending on where you are in the conversation. So what do? We address the question and then we pivot, right? So we address their question and then pivot. Boom, let's move on.